Hello there, my name's Brandon and I make pictures out of tiny squares. And today I'm going to be designing some of my own Pokémon. And I'm going to enlist the help of some randomized emoji combos to generate a few creative prompts. I'm using this website as a randomizer and I'm just going to keep clicking through some potential combos here. And you can see me kind of pausing on ones that I thought were interesting. What I'm looking for ideally are ones that contain an animal emoji already. That way there's already this sort of base creature identity to use for the design. And then the other two emojis can inform the attributes or other things about the appearance. After surfing through a bunch of the combos here, I've narrowed the selection down to 12 of my favorites and put them up on the board to assess which ones I might pursue. Of this short list of 12, there's some really fun ideas here, and I actually think each of these could go on to become their own unique design, but I'm going to pick 3 of them to move ahead with. So let's get started. Alright, to get started here, I'm just going to measure out a space of 40 by 40 pixels on my canvas. I chose this size because it looked to be a nice approximation of the sizing used on the smaller Pokémon in the original Game Boy style, and that's the design aesthetic I wanted to use for mine as well. The first one up here is the bee lantern anchor combination, and I began by painting in a rough body using this kind of bean shape, which is sort of one of those versatile shapes you could use for creating many types of cute looking characters really. But in this case, it works particularly well because I wanted to position the stinger out in front of the body. The reason I chose this emoji combo was because out of all of them, it's kind of the one that I could pretty much see the design right when I looked at the combination. The anchor works so well as this unique and characteristic stinger for the bee, and then the lanterns can serve in place of the wings. So it pretty much ended up being just a direct assembly of these individual emoji pieces, but kind of a nice one to warm up with at least. I thought it also might be interesting to see this sort of water and bug dual type combo, and even just the simplicity of a bee recolored in blue that has an anchor stinger is kind of a unique visual that does a really good job communicating what it's about. I'm going to name this one Maribee, which is a combination of the word maritime and bee. Kind of a basic name, but it sounds simple and pleasant. And so here's the finalized design for Maribee. Okay, so the cow bomb heart combo just sounded like this kind of ridiculous but fun visual. And I think it obviously worked perfectly for a fire type Pokemon. So I'm getting started by roughing in the body shape and posture for this cute looking calf design. And then I'll work out how to incorporate the fire, bomb, and heart motifs after. This one took quite a bit of experimentation, just trying to iterate and tweak the face design, mostly to find something stylized but recognizable. But it got a bit easier to do that work after bringing in the color and the shading. And these color palettes are inspired by a Game Boy Color or Super Game Boy kind of look. So across the work that I'm doing, the black and white are always the same, but the two middle colors are what's changing between the sprites. I really like the simplicity of just seeing the sprite work in this sort of monochrome appearance. I think it works really well for Pokemon too because it's just another way to identify their elemental type upon first glance. On top of the color decisions, I've tried my best to use similar sprite rendering techniques that are seen on the original sprites, like breaking up the outline with the shade color, or using that color outside of the sprite to soften up some of the edges and curves out there as well. For the design, you can see that I've incorporated the bomb quite literally at the end of the tail. And then as well, since cows are spotted, I've tried to turn one of the spots into a heart shape just to kind of subtly get that heart prompt in there as well. I'm going to name this one Boomoo, which I think kind of speaks for itself. So let's look at the finalized design for Boomoo. Alright, so the final design here is a combo of a turtle, a crosswalk sign, and some bamboo. I selected this one because I was excited about doing a turtle design. I've always been a big fan of Squirtle, so there was that. But then in this case, the bamboo indicated to me that this could be a grass type Pokemon instead. and that would round out our selection quite nicely. Of course, putting bamboo and a turtle together is something that could go a few different ways. Like, I thought maybe the shell could be made of bamboo, but that probably wouldn't read too well. So I decided to include it as an accessory, which isn't exactly the most common design decision across actual Pokemon designs. But certainly there are enough examples out there to set the precedent of these sort of accessories being possible. The benefit here is that it also helps address the middle prompt, the crosswalk sign, in that it could be thought of or even used as kind of this handheld sign like a crosswalk guard might have to lock things off. For me, the sort of essence or the character of this design started to shape up like a kid on their way to school. And I tried to lean into that by having the shell loop around the shoulders to look like a backpack. I also thought it'd be fun to give this one a bit of a character flaw. So I'm thinking that they've just inherently got bad balance and thus also need the bamboo to kind of hold themselves up on 2 feet. And you can see I've kind of arranged their pose to try and convey that. One thing that initially eluded me was actually the deeper significance of this bamboo emoji. I was looking at it and wondered why it was depicted with the ribbon attached to the bamboo. And it turns out it's referencing a Japanese festival known as Tanabata. And one component of that festival is that people will write down wishes on slips of paper and hang them from the tree. I kind of like thinking of this with relation to the turtle's flaw of poor balance. Like maybe this stalk of bamboo with the wish on it is sort of a totem for them, which provides comfort and could explain their happy-go-lucky attitude while holding it. And I'm going to name him Vertle, which I had a couple different meanings for. And so let's take a look at their final design. Alright, let's bring them all together now. Overall, I think they look quite good as a set. There's some unique ideas that make each one stand out in their own way. And they also turned out to have pretty recognizable silhouettes as well, so that's always a plus for character design. The emoji combo approach turned out to be this super effective way to go about this, and definitely led me to things I wouldn't have considered otherwise. So let's go ahead and close out now with some CRT time, where I've prepared a few fake kind of mock screenshots with these guys. So thank you for watching, and take care and keep it square.